Hey guys, Derek Kai, Coach of Wise Ocean Pods, and welcome back to another captain's video for this week coming up in round 5. In this video, I'm going to quickly go through what my top 10 captains are going to be for the round. It is seeming like a little bit of a tougher round. I think a lot of the popular players aren't having the best of matchups or are looking at tags, so yeah, definitely a bit of a tough one. But quickly summarizing how I did last week, it was shocking. There was probably one of the worst captain rounds I can remember. My number one and two, both just going in the 70s is atrocious. I got Dave Goss horribly wrong. I thought he would go well against Carlton, and he just got tagged and just didn't really get amongst it as much as he could have. It was pretty influential, but just didn't rack up like he would. Obviously, Zorko was hugely disappointing against Richmond. That was definitely unexpected, to say the least. Baz Smith, 127. I was pretty confident with him. I wish I backed him as my own captain, but didn't quite get there in the end. So I'm glad to see him a bit higher up. And TDK and Max Gorn both very disappointing in what were pretty good matchups as well. So overall, a very poor week of captain. So fingers crossed you got much better scores than those. I luckily got Jordan Dawson, who was 119. I think he was number 6 for me on the list. So yeah, probably just need to back in Jordan Dawson a little bit more than what is expected. So 418th for the week is very, very disappointing, but still 133 overall in the season. So not too bad, but definitely need to start moving a little bit better to do, to think I'm a bit better of a captain picker than that. So what are we doing this week? So number one, I think it's pretty obvious, and I have Andy Brayshaw at number one. Up against Richmond Tigers, obviously the easiest matchup. Let me read out the scores that have happened to Richmond as a midfielder for you. So you've got Jack McRae 113, Connor Rosie 145, Hugh McCluggage 141 last week, and obviously Josh Dunkley and Lockie Neal at 116 and 115 respectively. So they are giving up plenty of points to the midfield, and there's always sort of someone that is going 110 plus, and that this week it should be Andy Brayshaw, so he should comfortably get to 110 and hopefully be able to hit a 130 for you this week. So if you're trading him in, that is great trading. I would be doing it if I could, but I can't, unfortunately. So yeah, you should get instant reward for that one as well. Number two, I have gone with Josh Dunkley at number two. He's up against Western Bulldogs, and that is at Norwood Oval. So I've taken that into heavily considerations. I went back and looked at what happened last year at Norwood Oval, and it was a tackle fest. So I think this is going to play into the hands of Josh Dunkley quite well. It could be the same for Hugh McCluggage, but Hugh McCluggage is very up and down, where I think Josh Dunkley is a bit more consistent at his football. So I'm trusting him at number two there a lot more. Reading out the top scores against Western Bulldogs. So Tom Power 121. Nick Dacos went 136. George Hewitt went 116. Caleb Strong went 121. And Brayshaw also at 119. So they are giving up plenty of points to midfielders as well. So I am pretty confident that Josh Dunkley should be able to get it done with a comfortable 110, if not 120 in this game. So happy with him there. In the same game, I have gone with Tom Liberatore at number three. Again, Norwood Oval, high tackling pressure game. I'm expecting it to be between these two. Both are playing for finals, so I think it's going to be a pretty tight contest there at a smaller Norwood Oval. So I'm expecting him to get 10 plus tackles and continue his elite form that he's been showing and get plenty of touches and get a solid 110 again. For those that have started him, he has been absolutely flying. So yeah, definitely consider him as a good option. Number four, I have gone with Tom De Koning. They're just up against West Coast. They have got a pretty easy matchup in terms of ruckman. So Luke Jackson's gone 102, so that's pretty standard, pretty good for him. And obviously Jared Witts has gone 125 against them as well. So they give up plenty of points to ruckman, and Tom De Koning should absolutely thrive in this matchup. Probably one of the last times we'll be able to captain him, as long as Pittner is not named. So if Pittner is named, then I would be removing Tom De Koning out of this list. Fingers crossed that doesn't happen, though, for all aspects in fantasy, because that would definitely hurt. But we'll see tonight when teams get announced. But he is there at number four, and he will probably be my captain this week. At number 5, I have also gone with his teammate and Sammy Walsh. Found a bit of form last week with his 137, and he's up against West Coast again. Very good matchup. So reading out their midfield score, so Andy Brayshaw went 110, Lockie Neal went 117, Noah Anderson went 117, and Tom Green went 121 last week. So this should be a comfortable 110 for Sammy Walsh as well, and he is a pretty good trade in if you are considering him. So definitely do that. He should be a comfortable 110, 115 as well. So happy with that. Number 6, I have gone with Jordan Dawson, just missing out because I'm slightly concerned that he may get a bit of attention, especially with Rankin a bit under an injury cloud. He may not get Jordan Dawson may get a bit more of attention in this game. But I still think he'll be good enough that he'll be able to break the tag. We've seen him be able to move in multiple different positions and obviously be able to rack up the ball. So I'm still pretty confident with him. He will probably be my VC tonight. If not, I may even go with a Jake Saligo, just with Jordan Dawson getting attention. That probably means more points for Saligo in the midfield. So I'll see how I go with that tonight when, as the game sort of builds up. Harry Sheasel is number 7. I think he's due for a pretty big game against the Gold Coast Suns. They obviously have been giving up a few points to defenders, so that should be a pretty good one for him. And we know he sort of moved into the back line last week, so again, he should go pretty well. Just not confident enough that that role sticks again this week, so I'll just put him down there at number 7. Number 8, I've got Tom Green against St Kilda at the Barossa. Again, quite a small and skinny ground, so I think he could get to work on his tackling there. So he should be able to get a fair few tackles and be able to rack up the pill like he normally does. So he should be very, very good and a good trade-in if you're looking at him. Toby Nankervis slots in at number 10 against... who are they against? Sorry, they are against Freo. Sorry, against Sam Darcy. Potentially if Sam Darcy plays. If not, then it will be the likes of Liam Reedy. If it is Liam Reedy, then Nankervis probably jumps into my top 5. But for relevance, I guess he's not featured in my top 5 just yet. But yeah, he will definitely jump up if it is Liam Reedy that is going to be rucking against him. We know what points he gives up to Ruckman. So yeah, Nank should have a day out there. And at number 10, I've gone with Clayton Oliver against Essendon. He should be able to have another good day out. He's been averaging, 105 for the best part of the season so far, so he should be very consistent there as a pretty solid option later on in the week if you're struggling for captain options. So definitely consider that. Some apologies, I didn't look at really low Rosie, up against Hawthorn, very tough matchup. He may get a bit of attention from Nash. Probably just more of a body-for-body sort of like. Bailey Smith, I didn't really look at him. Same with Holmes, just because Adelaide is a really tough matchup. The toughest matchup for midfielders currently. So, yeah, definitely will be a tougher game. But I wouldn't stop you from putting a VC on Bailey Smith tonight if you're keen on him. Obviously, he's averaging 120, so there's every chance that he could do that. But I'm just a bit skeptical with the tougher matchup, so don't think the ceiling's quite there. Marshall against Briggs, tough matchup. There's talks that maybe Boyd even comes back and plays this week just to help him out a little bit. But I'm not super confident on that, so be careful. Cherry against Wits, obviously a very hard matchup, plus the injury, definitely not looking at that. And Gorn against Draper and Bryan all have very tough matchups, so I would not be looking at any of those. So hopefully that solves your issues for your captains. So I will definitely be going either Dawson or Saligo tonight into TDK. So one of them, see how I go with that. As long as Pitnet is named, then I may look to just fall back on a Clayton Oliver and just fingers crossed he can go well against Essendon and not get too much attention there. So fingers crossed all goes well this week. So nice and quick one for you this week, because very little options I would have thought this week. So put down in the comment section what your VC options. Maybe you've thought of something that I haven't, and maybe my research hasn't shown me. But yeah, very different scenario this week with Gather Round, with playing at very unusual oval, especially the Barossa. We haven't seen any sort of results on the new oval, the new pitch previously. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that sort of affects the results, and fingers crossed, the North and Gold Coast are playing there Saturday morning, so we'll sort of get some sort of feel to it, and then we can sort of gauge how that's going to work to the likes of Brayshaw, because Freo and Richmond are playing there Sunday morning, so we should be able to get a bit of a gauge on how it's going to work out and how what's sort of looking like in terms of a fantasy scoring field. So we'll be able to make those decisions. So be on your toes, because it is going to be a fairly unpredictable round with everything at the moment, with obviously everyone's in the same town if we gather around, so it could be all up in the air. So be mindful and be alert this weekend, and hopefully you can get hopefully you can get to some of the games. I'll be floating around Adelaide here and there, so hopefully you can catch up and I'll say hello and whatnot. So hopefully I'll see you then. If not, please leave a like, subscribe, and yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed this video. I know I'll catch you guys for next week's review. See you then. Bye.